Hey, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Circus, and I am back with another video. We had a video that came out on the internet that is asking Wargamers to basically talk about where they came from and how they got into the hobby. And this is a response video to Cinderfall Gaming, who asked me to participate in this video response. So I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a little backstory about me and how I got into Wargaming and the whole community and also the hobby itself. So, the first question is, how did you get into Wargaming? I got into Wargaming from some buddies of mine that actually I used to work with, a buddy named Jason who had some friends, and they also did a lot of Wargaming, and they also play Magic the Gathering, as well as D&D and a bunch of other games like that. So he invited me over to hang out with some friends one night, and we ended up playing a few games, and they introduced me to Age of Sigmar. I had heard of 40K, but not so much Age of Sigmar. So he pretty much showed me the models and everything like that. I thought it was really cool. And they were more focused on Magic the Gathering. So we didn't really get a chance to play as much, but I did have some of his friends sell me a model, which was Morngul from Nighthaunt. So he kept his Stormcast half, and I took the Nighthaunt half. And I paid him like $50 or something like that, PayPal'd him, and he gave me the Soul Wars side of the box. So I started off with Nighthaunt. I've always been into like spooky stuff, ghosts and all that, so I thought Nighthaunt was really cool and just something I would definitely like to get into. So I took those models and pretty much like was looking to expand and get more models. Also, every time I would go over there, we would end up playing a wide array of games, but we never played Warhammer. So I played Brandon maybe one time, and I lost bad to the Stormcast because the list I built, I just didn't know what I was doing, and we just forgot a lot of the rules, but it was still very fun to say the least. So that was the start of how I got introduced into the models. As far as the painting and learning techniques and like that, I spend a lot of time on YouTube following a bunch of YouTube content creators, learning painting techniques and things like that, and I kind of got more into Nighthaunt and what models that I should buy, but also the tactics behind Nighthaunt. And you know, I really liked the models and how they look and everything, but I also was trying to get a second army at that time, so I expanded over into Slaanesh and ended up getting some Demonettes. I actually bought a box from a guy, a start collecting box, that was like an hour away from me, and he was selling it like dirt cheap. He was giving it away for like $30, a full start collecting box. So when I looked up the value, you know, these boxes can be $75 to $80 for a full box. So I ended up buying that from him and started to expand into my next army. So I kind of put Nighthaunt to the side and I started focusing more on Slaanesh. And yeah, it was just a lot of late nights, staying up very late, trying to paint and get things done, get them looking right, and just batch painting lots of models. Most of my techniques end up being around batch painting. I take a lot of models at one time and I'll paint them pretty much similar and just have a few variations with the models just to get more of them done. And then as I started watching more channels, I saw that airbrush was the thing to do for Nighthaunt. So I ended up buying an airbrush and started using techniques to, you know, just blend the colors together with the ethereal robes. It just looked really cool for me. So now I have up to 5 armies. So I play Ogres, I play Nighthaunt, I play Slaanesh. I also have a little bit of Gloomspite, and I'm forgetting one. And so that's 4, or is that 5? I'm not sure. But like, I play Nighthaunt, Slaanesh. I play Nighthaunt, Slaanesh. I play Gloomspite, which is still new. I haven't really got into that yet. I play the Ogres, and I have a few other models that I want to get into too as well that are part of some demon armies that I pretty much would have a smorgasbord of different demons. So but yeah, and I have Seraphon too as well. Sorry. So yeah, I don't know, I blacked out about Seraphon, sorry about that. But yeah, so Seraphon I really got into because I like the way those models look. The savage thing about them was really cool, so I ended up kind of overindulging in Seraphon, and I bought like over like 5,000 points of Seraphon. So Seraphon is a good army just because there's a little something for everybody in that army. You know, if you want a magic heavy army, you could do magic. If you want a lot of units, you can play a lot of different models with a lot of units. Or if you want like big tanks, you can do that too as well. There's a little bit for everybody. There's flying units. There's everything. So that's kind of how I got into wargaming. And this kind of stems from my fantasy side of gaming. I have a long history of gaming since I was at my early ages. Console gaming and also PC gaming too as well. But I used to play a lot of World of Warcraft. I used to play a lot of fantasy games, RPG games, you know, turn-based RPG games, and wargaming is a lot like turn-based RPGs. So the cool thing about wargaming that I think really got me into it is building your own army from scratch and having a theme behind your army. Like, it's your army. You pretty much get to name your heroes and all your characters, and you could put the story of how they came to be and why they're savage or why they're going to get these artifacts and this and that. The narrative part of Warhammer is really cool. And I just remember going into stores like KB Toys and seeing like the metal models up against the wall. And I didn't know what it was, but I had seen these models and grass and different paints and things like that, you know, I just had no idea what it was. Also, I think my hobby also comes from my grandfather. My grandfather was into model trains. And so he had a basement filled with trains that went around the perimeter of the basement. He had them set up on boards with real grass and people, and these trains had lights and everything. He never wanted anybody to go down there, so it was really cool to kind of see that, you know, this stems all the way from my childhood, and also my ancestors also did it too. So kind of growing up, I wasn't into modeling or anything like that, but because I had an artistic background with my gaming and RPGs, I figured this would be the next step to get into wargaming. So it's a pretty cool hobby. Love it. Everything about it is pretty fun, and I'm enjoying it so far in the community. So second question is, where do you want your channel to go? Well, if you've ever watched my channel or watched my streams, I was with Vintage Gamers Club, which is a great channel that does a lot of different things. Smash Brothers, we do tournaments and things like that. And some of my friends that I have, some of my very, very close friends are in Vintage Gamers Club. I have recently left and I do my own content now, but we're still all friends. We're all still cool. Those guys make some great content, and Matt was the person that kind of got me into setting up my studio and, you know, getting my camera going and everything for my channel. So shout out to Matt. He's really awesome. Check out Vintage Gamers Club if you have not. But yeah, he did help me get my troubleshooting going, get my channel set up and everything off the ground. And as far as the models, I was already doing that and kind of into that. But yeah, there's a lot of content on that channel as well as mine. I stream games, anything from PS4 all the way to PC. So you can watch my channel and you'll see a little bit of everything. Me and my son like to play just different things. Fortnite, you know, Overwatch, anything. I'm a big Resident Evil fan, so I love survival horror. So you'll see a lot of that on my channel, but I'm trying to focus it more on wargaming. So you'll see more battle reports start to pop up, painting tutorials and things like that, as well as some of my other paint streams that I've had on the channel as well. So you can go check those out. I have a few tutorial videos too as well of how to set up storage, as well as you know, just techniques you can use for beginners that are coming into the hobby. Because Lord knows, when I started out, I was very clueless about everything, and I just tip my hat to all the YouTubers that helped me get started in the hobby. So question number 3, advice for any new wargaming YouTubers. Yeah, so advice would be just like Cinderfall had said. Cinderfall Gaming nominated me for this video, so shout out to Cinderfall Gaming. Check him out in his Discord. A piece of advice would be just like he said, and many others, don't be in competition with anybody else. It's your channel, it's your content. Whatever you want to present is something that you're passionate about, and that should be the reason for you to get started. Yeah, and just don't beat yourself up for your video quality or anything like that. Just ask for help or look for tips online. I was fortunate to have help from a friend that actually does it professionally, and he's really good at it. So shout out to Matt. He basically showed me all the ropes of how to set my channel up and do everything as far as like, you know, logos and doing digital things as far as the music. I have a music background. I have a degree in audio technology. So as far as the audio, I was already really good with that, but video editing, that's something I taught myself. And I kind of used Matt's credentials and what he did for his software and kind of followed his guidance. So just find somebody that can take you know, like that, you know, will take you under their wing and show you kind of what you need to do, or just ask questions. The internet is full of people that are willing to help, including me. If you have any questions at all, I'm willing to help. It is very hard starting out because people may not have the money for gear. But like I said, just slowly build it up. And like I said, just be true to your fans and the people that like your channel, and those people will come and they'll stay, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I would just start off basic, get yourself a webcam, computer, you know, and just do some studying on YouTube on how to get started. And like I said, it's pretty easy once you get there and you understand what you want to do in your mission. And just have constant content. Always come out with content. Make sure you're ahead of your schedule and that you plan to put more content out. And like I said, your channel will do fine. So some people I want to shout out on this video and actually get, you know, I have to call out 3 people, pretty much 3 people that I would nominate to do a response video like this. And I would say my first one would be the Lonely Havocs. I have a friend named Dan at our local shop in Fairview Heights that does Wargaming too as well. He plays 40K, AOS. He also has a podcast too as well that you can check out. It's called The Lonely Havocs. I would nominate him because he is a Warhammer hero. He's been featured on the Warhammer page for his painting jobs and the things that he's done with the hobby community. So shout out to Dan. I've played him with my Night Hunt army and I got completely destroyed. So shout out to Dan. And yeah, man, he's a good friend of mine, and I would definitely check out his channel. His content is awesome. Those guys are always playing 40K and different things and painting. And he also teaches painting at our local shop too as well. So if you're in the Fairview Heights area, come check out the local Wargame store. He does painting tutorials in there, and it's pretty awesome. So second one I would say is Grimdark Live. Grimdark Live has an awesome podcast. They're good friends of ours on Facebook. They post a lot of content about the ogres and beasts of chaos, but I think he's starting to get more into Night Hunt too as well. So check him out. His podcast is awesome. I've played it on my stream numerous times, and he gave me the okay to play it. He said it's really cool. Lots of new facts, and he talks about like new things that are coming out, like new releases and things like that. So definitely check him out. A lot of good information. It motivates you to want to paint while you listen to his podcast. So I would check him out too. And my third and final will be Goobertown Hobbies. This one is near and dear to my heart. A lot of people know Goobertown. He's very popular. And during this whole, you know, USA being up in flames and a lot of things going on in the country, I just want to say, being a part of the wargaming community, I've seen that there hasn't been very many African Americans that do the hobby. But within that, he also gave a speech about you know, just Black Lives Matter, and just talked about, you know, everybody, including everybody in the hobby. And to me, that was just really awesome how he was able to speak out and he didn't care what people thought about him. And so that's just another thing. Like I said, you know, it isn't about the whole race thing or anything like that. I've never been like that. My friends that introduced me and the people I grew up with are Caucasian, and they're awesome, and I love them to death. And I would just say, you know, anybody that's coming into the hobby, you know, whether you're African American, white, brown, pink, whatever, this hobby's for everybody. And it's one of those hobbies that, as long as you have a passion and you want to paint and you want to be that person to introduce it to somebody else, and you think it's something that you would love to teach to somebody else, go for it. I haven't really had anybody like tell me otherwise or make me feel unwelcome in the hobby. So it's one of those hobbies that everyone can do, and we welcome everybody in. So if you ever have any questions for me or you need some help from me, I'm always willing to help. I do want to shout out Cinderfall Gaming for promoting me with this video, because he asked me to do it, and I'm in his Discord all the time. Cinderfall Gaming is really close to me, and they're from Australia. He's also friends with Doom and Darkness and also the AOS coach as well. So the AOS coach asked Cinderfall to do a response video. Cinderfall asked me to do a video. So I'm asking those 3 guys, Lonely Havocs, Grimdark Live, or Goobertown Hobbies, if you see this video or if you come across my page, to do a response video if you like. I don't really know Goobertown Hobbies like that, but I do talk to Grimdark Live and Lonely Havocs quite often. So that's just a little bit about me. Thank you guys for spending a little bit of time with me. I did show some pictures here just to show some of the progress that I went through with my painting and the steps and stages I took during my painting process. And like I said, look forward to some more battle reports and some things coming up on the channel. And I appreciate you guys nominating me for this video. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot. And look forward to more content in the future. So as always, thanks a lot, guys. Hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for tuning into my channel. Peace.
I turn it up as loud as possible so you can hear it. Being yourself in the world of fake.